Hey guys, got another deck profile for you. This is my cubic deck. Of course, it's the post link format, which just came out. Um, I personally do not like links, and I really don't like how they've changed the game. I know everybody has different opinions, but this one's just mine. I personally don't like links. So pretty much this is probably going to be my go-to tournament deck profile because I don't have to use link monsters in it, and it's a really good OTK deck. Um, I just went 3-0 at locals last weekend, which of course isn't a big deal, but um, it it works. So um, yeah, uh, I'm gonna just get started with the profile now. Enjoy. This deck profile, by the way, is very similar to a lot of other ones. There's not a lot of creativity as far or variants of the build. There's usually just like the Fusion Turbo and the Pure Cubics. This is the Pure Cubic version. And yeah, so this is very going to be very similar to a lot of other profiles you may see. So of course we're going to be playing 3 Crimson Nova the Dark Cubic Lore. This is your OTK guy. This guy wins you the games. That's your pretty much the way how you win every single duel. Um, then we've got, of course, 3 Duza, the Meteor Cubic Vessel. That's your one of your searchers. You're gonna normal summon it, send a cubic spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard, and which you can activate their effects and from the graveyard and get some searches off, and it's a really easy way to search out your boss monster. Just gonna play through that, and you're gonna be playing 3 Vijam the Cubic Seed. This is just for it's a nice wall to have if you don't open up a grit hand, but the deck is pretty fast in itself, so you're usually not gonna have a problem with bricking. Um, yeah, if you don't summon this guy, you're just gonna use one of the spells to send it to the graveyard and boost your guys' attack by 800 for each of them. So you're just gonna increase monster's attack by like 24. Um, you don't really summon them a whole lot. Mainly just do the big Crimson Nova guy and then just win. We played 2 Buster Gundil, the Cubic Behemoth, 1 Indiora Volt, the Cubic Emperor. Um, if you are going to summon these, you want to summon this one. This is why you play 2 of him and not 2 of him. This one's just better if you're able to summon him. But most of the time, you're just going to be bringing them out with what's it called? Unification of the Cubic Lords, the trap card, which I'll show you guys a bit later. Yeah, this guy just helps stall out until you get your Crimson Nova. And play 1 Dark Garnex, the Cubic Beast, 1 Geira Guile, the Cubic King, 1 Vulcan Dragni, the Cubic King, 1 Blade Garoodia, the Cubic Beast, and that rounds off your cubic monsters. As for non-cubic monsters, I'll play only 2 Summoner Monk, just so you can make some rank 4 plays, and also get your Duza out faster. So basically, you only have, 8 monsters that can be normal summoned or set. Other cubic stuff have to have like their requirements, which are of course written on the cards, so you'll be able to know those. But these are the only cards that you can normal summon in the deck. But that is by no means a disadvantage or a problem. It actually kind of helps the deck. because you play Reasoning, which will you just want to mill out a bunch of your stuff as you can. On Dispels, play 3 Cubic Karma. This is your main searcher along with Duza. You're going to usually use Duza's effect to send this or Unification to the graveyard, and then you just banish this from your graveyard, add 1 Cubic monster from your deck to your hand. And you can add anything you need at the particular time. Then you're going to play 3 Cubic Wave. It will permanently double 1 Cubic monster's attack and permanently have 1 opponent's monster's attack. And it's not a once per turn effect, so you can basically double, triple, quadruple. You're gonna quadruple your monster's attack, or and I've done the math, and along with the whole 2400 boost and then activating these, so like Cubic Karma's other effect, which for the continuous spell you're gonna activate it, send the 3 Vijam to the graveyard, and your monster gets the optimally, or Crimson Nova is going to gain 2400 attack, and then so it would put it at 54, and then you're going to double that total again, and then double that total, and then that rounds off to almost 60,000 attack if you're lucky enough to get that whole shebang going. It's not too often that I ever get 3 Cubic Waves in my hand, and if anything, I only ever activate 1 or 2 at most of the Cubic Waves, but it's just a really, really awesome way to OTK your opponent. Nova, by the way, if you didn't know, can only be special summoned by revealing 3 Cubic cards with different names in your hand, and then you just special summon them from your hand. Can't be set or normal summoned or tribute summoned or special summoned by other means, but it is not particularly hard to get out, and yeah, so just thought I'd mention that. I'm going to play 3 Foolish Burial Goods, so you can send your Cubic Karmas and your Unifications to the graveyard as fast as you can. Really helps speed up the deck. You want to try and get these for the deck if you're going to make it as best as you can, but it's not like mandatory to play these, because these are about $10 each. So if you can't afford them, it's not a big deal. Then you play 3 Dark World Dealings. So if you have a Cubic Karma in your hand, you can discard that, and also have a plus off of it. So really nice way to get more Cubics in your hand, as well as to send the spells and traps that you want in your graveyard to your graveyard. Play 1 Reasoning, primarily because it's limited, for obvious reasons. Since you only have, what did I say, 8 targets that can be normal summoned or set, you're going to be milling out a ton of cards, and you want to be milling out all of your Cubic Karmas and Unifications, and that's going to let you just go off and search a ton of stuff, and it'll help set you up for some more OTKs, to even like make things overkill, so to speak. So you really need to play him. For spell and trap removal, I play 1 Twin Twisters and 1 Galaxy Cyclone. Reason why I don't play 2 Twin Twisters or 2 Galaxy Cyclone is because I kind of like the balance of just having 1 of each, because Twin Twisters, you're able to discard the Cubic Karma or the Unification from your hand and pop 2. And then the Galaxy Cyclone, you can activate from your graveyard if you mill it with Reasoning. So I like having the 1 of each. That's works for me, but if you want to do something else, that's fine too. Another not mandatory card in the deck, but one that I really like to play is Fusion Conscription. So you're just going to reveal Crimson Nova the Trinity, the Dark Cubic Lord, from your extra deck, and that will let you add one Crimson Nova to your hand from your deck. The only downside is that you can't summon it the turn that you activate Fusion's Conscription, but if you just need more cubic monsters or something, or stuff to set up for your next turn, it really helps out, which is why I only play it at 1. It's not anything you want to see too often. Probably wouldn't suggest running more than the 1. And then last of all, play 1 for 1, just so I can get out the Vijam if I need to. You don't have to play this. You can play whatever you want instead. It's just really nice to get out that level 1 monster. Traps, you're going to play, of course, the 3 Unifications. So basically, anytime a cubic monster leaves your field, you can banish this from your graveyard and special summon 1 cubic monster that is level 4 or lower from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. And that is really key because that's going to be like your main way to summon out Buster Gundil. It will not have the 3000 attack bonus that because it only gains that from when you summon it the way it's supposed to. If it's just summoned with Unification, you won't get that effect. But when it leaves the field and goes to the graveyard, you will be able to, what does it say? It's the target up to 3 cubic monsters in your graveyard and special summon them, and then you get to add a cubic card from your deck to your hand. So that's the one. When you use Unification, Buster Gundil is the one you want to summon out as your primary option. But if you can't, I believe Indiora Doomvolt, the Cubic Emperor, has the exact same effect. So you can target up to 3 cubic monsters in your graveyard, special summon them, and then add 1 cubic card from your deck to your hand. So, it doesn't really particularly matter which one, but I usually go for Buster Gundil. And of course, you could also go with a Vijam as well. And then for the remainder of the turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, too. That's something I just thought I should mention. And then since I play 4s and stuff, which I more often than not summon out Traptrix Rafflesia, I opt for the Trap Holes over the Solemn Warnings and Solemn Strikes, just because I want to, because I can just summon Rafflesia and do it that way. Maybe not the best option, but this is the one that I prefer. If you want to do the Solemn Strikes and stuff, go right ahead. This is just a preferential thing. So Bottomless and Time Space. I love Time Space because it just shuffles any monster or monsters that were special summoned from your opponent's field to the deck, as long as they were summoned at the same time. And then you take 1,000 points of damage for each monster that was shuffled. So it's a really good way to keep cards out of your opponent's control. And really bug the crap out of them. Then on to our extra deck. We play, of course, the 1 cubic Nova Trinity, the Dark Cubic Lord. You will almost never summon him. I almost summoned him once, but you don't really... The goal isn't really to summon him. It's just a Unification target, so you can add the Crimson Nova, the smaller dude, because, but if you do manage to summon him, he halves your opponent's life points every time he attacks. He can attack twice if he destroys a monster by battle. And then if you take effect damage, your opponent takes damage equal to the damage that you took. So it's a really good, really big boss monster. That is just really good. But if you want to summon him, you got to build the turbo version, which I may or may not profile in the future. We'll just see if I get to that. But there's other profiles too you can look up to as well if you'd like. Then on to 4s. You don't really need much of an extra deck as your main goal is to get the this guy out, the Crimson Nova. But you do you summon usually just one rank 4 in a typical duel. And so I play a full 15 card extra deck just so I have options for any situation I could need. So I've got the Traptrix Rafflesia, Abyss Dweller for graveyard negations, Castel for monster removal, one Minerva because it lets you mill cards from your deck to the graveyard, and hopefully you'll be sending your Unification or your Cubic Karma. And then as well, when it's destroyed, you get to send 3 more to the graveyard. And of course, you're not going to play any Lightsworn, so you won't get to pop any cards, but it's just for the mill. And then you're going to play one Tornado Dragon, one Daigusto Emeral. You're going to be playing the full Utopia package. I've got one number 106 Giant Hand, one Steel Swarm Roach for the monster summon negations. This is just my substitute for not having anything that negates summons in my deck. I play one Heartland Draco for just finishing off that little bit of damage or something. It's more of just like a... You don't really summon him very often, but he helps. It's a nice card to have. I got Cowboy because Heartland Draco, when you would use it to attack directly, it's the only monster that can attack. So if you just need more damage, but you want to attack with more than one monster, I've got the Cowboy. And then last but not least, one number 70 Malevolent Sin, just to fill up the space. That concludes my deck profile. Hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you think. And yeah, see ya.